Part 4. You will hear part of a lecture given to students in a food science department about safety standards. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, I'm going to talk about food safety and the factors involved in setting standards for the food industry with particular reference to the situation here in Australia. Now, before anyone can decide what kind of standards need to be set for ensuring that any specific food product is safe, scientists have to carry out a risk assessment. And in doing this, they have to consider several potential problems. Firstly, they have to consider the ingredients of the product. They have to decide whether any of these might make the finished product more susceptible to harmful bacteria. Then, they have to consider the process used in the preparation of the food, and whether or not it includes a step designed to eliminate unwanted microorganisms. After that, they've got to consider the way products are stored, for instance in warehouses or cold stores, and distributed to retailers. And it doesn't end there. The analysts even have to be aware of problems that might occur after the food has reached the supermarket. Things like frozen foods being defrosted and then refrozen because the temperature fluctuated, or foods being kept past their expiry date. And finally, any assessment of the overall risk has to take into account the way the end users, consumers, normally handle food at home. So, as you see, the risk assessment is quite complicated. Now, there are several factors affecting what kind of food we eat, only one of which is legislation. Another is the attitudes of consumers. A good example of this is the dislike that many Australians have for additives in their food, even when these additives are considered safe, and without them products have a shorter shelf life or a substandard appearance. This has led to the phenomenal expansion of the market for organic food in Australia. Another important influence on what we eat is the food industry itself. In some large supermarkets, low prices are the main strategy for attracting customers, while for more upscale marketers, image is more important. But we should bear in mind, for all of them, the key consideration is profitability. Finally, there's the influence of the mass media, which is the most important source of information for most people. Unfortunately, this has a rather negative effect, because in general, they are not very objective. For one thing, the prime motivation of the media, as with the food industry, is sales, and this has a major influence on the way in which the topic is dealt with. A further problem is that news is regarded as a type of entertainment. Often, the issues that get a top billing are those that are sensational or controversial, so it's not at all surprising if the public ends up with a rather distorted understanding of food and food safety. On top of that, up till now, food safety and nutrition have never been considered a really interesting topic for the public. Very few TV or radio shows address the issues, and even those shows that are devoted to cooking or eating generally ignore them. At this point, I'll just offer a personal opinion on this subject of food safety. I firmly believe in food safety education, starting at primary schools. We know that many children who have been taught about the benefits of exercise come home and lecture their parents about it. So, the same could be done for food and food preparation. And at the same time, the countless educational television shows.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 4. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.